Hi everyone, I'm back as promised, and today I will do a recap of the FIDE Women's Grand Swiss 2023 that took place from October 26th to November 5th on Isle of Man in Douglas. And it was won by Vaishali Rameshbabu. By the way, I'm not sure why the American flag is drawn next to her on this image on chess.com. Of course, she's from India, and she's been representing India for her life, for her whole life, I mean. And yeah, just a mistake. It happens. Well, anyhow, she didn't make a lot of mistakes, apparently. In Isle of Man, she played brilliantly and convincingly won the tournament with 8.5 out of 11 without losing a single game. Won a significant first prize, $25,000. And what's more important, I think, for her is a place for the 2024 Women's Candidates Tournament that is scheduled for April 2024 in Toronto, Canada. The second ticket to the candidates was won by Tan Zhongyi, who finished third, since the silver medalist of the tournament, Anna Muzychuk, already qualified for the World Cup, for the candidates via the World Cup. So we'll see how it's gonna go in Toronto. We will know all the participants at the beginning of 2024, after the rating list, January rating list, FIDE rating list will be published. Well, I will do a short recap of my 11 games. It was a very difficult tournament. A lot of things didn't quite work for me this time, and then we'll see. If I will take part in the Arena Kings or not. And we will keep an eye on the Women's Speed Chess Championship qualifier that's taking place right now. I believe it's the last round, right? Round 13. Top 8 are gonna qualify for the knockout. That's gonna take place tomorrow, and I believe 2 winners of this knockout are gonna be playing in the Women's Speed Chess Championship next week. It starts. Yes, but Arena King, I don't see it in my tournaments, upcoming tournaments. Where is it? Let me see. I haven't been played this Arena King. Ah, here it is, actually. Yeah, I can see it. Good. Okay, we'll see. Anyway, let me go over my 11 games of the Grand Swiss. And yes, exactly, the younger generation. That's exactly what I was thinking in Isle of Man. There were many young players performing beautifully on Isle of Man. And that was my first game. I was playing against a young player from Estonia. That was a decent game. I mean, I played the Alapin variation. Well, it's a little bit different, starting from after knight f3, e6, c3. It's not the same thing as the second c3. So, but if you check out the recent games, you will see that actually many top grandmasters, including Magnus Carlsen, nowadays plays third c3 after second e6. So I'm not happy about it. d5, e5. Okay, there is a choice. You can either take, white can take, capture on d5, or try to get to the French defense. to the advanced variation of the French defense. That's one of the main lines of the French defense. But since Sicilian players, they don't always play the French defense, they have a choice here to play d4 and not let white play d4 themselves. And then, well, it's a different story. It's not the French defense, it's a different position. But that's all very well known theory. I won't pay attention to the opening moves. Queen d5, that was something new for me. Well, black is attacking the pawn on e5 like that. Usually they develop the queen to c7, but on d5, okay, it's a little bit different. And I could have played c4, inviting the queen to go back and then continue the development. But during the game I thought that actually sacrificing this pawn, which the sacrifice often happens in different lines of this variation, might be an interesting idea. And it is quite an interesting idea. Knight a3, maybe not very precise. Knight e7 also is criticized by the engine, but okay, it's very difficult to understand why and what. The computer here suggests the plan with a4, a5 as a very strong initiative, because black, it's very hard to develop the queen side. Bishop f4 I played, it's not that precise, but okay, we're all human beings and I wanted to put some pressure and create immediate threats. My opponent surprised me with g5 here, bishop e3, knight e5. She didn't want to castle because of knight b6, but actually deserved a very, 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 very serious attention, this exchange sacrifice, because, well, black gets some initiative and compensation. Well, okay, I don't know if she considered it or not. She decided to exchange queens, but I was happy. After this exchange, I think my position is better a little bit. It's a little bit better, and again, the plan with a4, a5 was worth consideration. I played it differently. I made an inaccuracy here. c4 was quite a strong option. And, well, and then, well, we both, I think, played pretty well. I had some slight possibilities to pose more problems in time trouble, such as rook d8, for example. I like this option a lot. I don't know why I didn't play it, because after rook d8, the only way for black to hold is to play bishop d7. That's already quite a challenging move to find, because if black captures, then I capture. Knight f7 is a very unpleasant threat, and if she plays h6, then again, she is not in time to develop. Not quite, not quite. So that would have been quite an interesting question to ask. I don't know why I didn't play rook d8. I remember that I did see this move, but somehow I was hoping to find something here. And here again, rook h5 would have been a little bit more precise, because here again, black has to be careful. If she plays king g7, then I have rook d4 with the idea to play rook g4. Hi everyone. And she has some problems, some serious problems, because even though my rook looks weird on h5, her bishop is still on c8, it covers the other rook, and it's not so clear how to finish development. So rook h5 would have been a little bit more challenging. After rook h5, I believe king h7 is the move, but then I can take, and then play rook c5. And again, even though we see that the engine, it evaluates this position almost as an equal position, well, there are still a few moves to make, and in time trouble it's not that obvious, you know, when all your pieces stand on the last rank, it's hard. And it would have been better. Here I don't know why I didn't play rook h5, I didn't consider it. I played rook g4, but then okay, I don't give her a possibility to make a mistake. And here, of course, I had to agree on a draw. I decided to play till the end of the time control, but luckily I made a draw. And here I'm already worse. I mean, my knight on d7 is a very beautiful knight, but actually it's almost stuck there, right? I was very afraid of like plans such as this one, bishop b7, with the idea to play. No, luckily bishop b7 is not working because of this beautiful knight f6. Okay, well guys, today I'm gonna talk only about my performance. It's gonna be a very fast and not happy recap about my games in Isle of Man. I'm sure Vaishali and FIDE, if they want to, they will make their own recaps, and they are gonna talk about their wonderful performances. Of course, they did great, and I just wish them to prepare well for the candidates. That's an amazing achievement for both of them. Okay, so the game ended with a draw offer by myself here. Well, it's an equal endgame, equal rook's endgame, and it was a pretty decent game. I think one of the best according to accuracy by chess.com. Okay, let's carry on. The second round game was also pretty tense and complicated, and I played against a young girl from Azerbaijan. Let me try to find my game. Yeah, I also made a draw. It was a Slav defense. The Slav was d takes c4. A very long theoretical line that I prepared, not even for this tournament, I've prepared it a long time ago, but yeah, I happened to play it for the first time here. King f2 surprised me a little bit, but okay, it's hard. White needs to decide something, how to develop, right? And no, I didn't play the Women's Chess Championship qualifier because I'm invited to the main event. We're gonna talk about it when I'm done with this recap. King f2. Castle, yeah, so this game was very complicated. I will show you the moments. Okay, knight c8 is not a very beautiful move. Probably I had some stronger moves to consider, but I wanted to bring my knight somewhere. Yeah, knight b1, I remember during the game it surprised me a lot, and this game unfortunately I've never dared to play b5. I considered this move very seriously, but I didn't dare to make it. It would have been interesting after b5. Instead I played queen e8, queen c2, yeah, b5 here again I think was worth considering. Yeah, and here instead of playing e5, what I was originally planning to do, yeah, I opted for bishop b4 and knight d6, which is a little bit dubious, but okay, I still managed to hold the equality. And where was it? At some point I had a chance. To play for advantage. Let me show you. When. Was, I think, like the main moment. Yeah, it's here. Instead of rook c8, I could have played queen g6. But unfortunately in time trouble, well, not quite, but 12 minutes here, I was afraid of something like queen c7. And I didn't make queen g6 move because of this possibility. But in fact, knight takes c4 wins the game here. Because if she captures on d7, I give a check. Well, if king h1, there's a beautiful checkmate. Nice, cute, queen and knight. And if she plays king g1, well, and here is the move that you have to see when playing queen g6, and I didn't see it. It's queen b6. It's a very beautiful move in the other direction, and with the threat, well, a lot of threats actually, right? Rook f7, knight takes e4. For example, after queen c7, there is a very beautiful checkmate again. Let's see how it goes. That's the fastest way to checkmate. Okay, but unfortunately, I didn't see queen b6, and I didn't dare to make queen g6 move, although it was like screaming. The position was screaming for this move. Yeah, I know, but I didn't trust my intuition in this tournament, and I couldn't calculate till the end this line. So I played rook c8, like a safer one. Yes, a safer move, and here was again the last chance to fight for the advantage. A very good chance actually. I had to play b5. But again, it's so complicated because, okay, after rook takes c8, if I take with a queen, I have to understand what would happen if she just captures on e5. And, you know, when you see the computer evaluation, it's one thing, but when you play in a practical game, you don't know if it's like, if it's worth it or not, and then you just see that you're a pawn down. So some possibilities, but it's, I mean, it's very complicated and quite a difficult line. So again, I decided to play it safer. I played queen e7, but then yes, and she exchanges everything. And actually in time trouble, I was also not so happy about some of my decisions. I could have just exchanged the knight. Instead, I decided, you know, to complicate. But after queen takes e3, actually it would have been quite difficult for me to hold the position, because I would need to find a very, like, well, I think not a very obvious idea of just giving up this pawn and just holding this fortress, which is quite far from obvious in time trouble. But luckily for me, my opponent didn't capture on c3, and here, well, here it's a draw, because she has her counter ideas with d pawn. I have counter ideas with the spin and attacking her king, so the position is equal, and we agreed on a draw. A very complicated game, a very interesting one. Well, this tournament was not that great, but thank you for congratulations. Let's see game number 3. Actually, that was like the game that somehow got me I got very upset because of this game, and because of this feeling, I lost in the next one. Okay, where does it? Wait, I did go away. Yeah, I played again Ellen Roberts from Netherlands. The French defense, quite a rare move, knight c6. Also, yes, quite a rare line. Okay, I played well here, and here I had to castle. Here I had to castle, and the position is slightly better for white. It's slightly better for white, so I think she would probably take on e5, I would take on e5. But you know, this pawn structure, it was not that clear for me that actually I'm the one who is playing for something serious. But, okay, the engine suggests that I might, you know, have some chances, and they should be connected with this pawn advance. But again, it's far from obvious. I did spend quite a lot of time, actually 25 minutes. I was thinking for 25 minutes, and I did play c4 in order actually to make my pawn structure look better. And here my opponent did make a slight inaccuracy because knight takes d5 was just stronger. She is the one here that can play for an advantage. After e takes d5, e6, she played bishop e8, and here we agreed on a draw with this move repetition. But of course, if I was considering this castle, but unfortunately I didn't know what to do after h5 and g5. I thought that it looked too scary. But since the engine doesn't know such an emotion, it says that actually g5, h5, yeah, it does look scary, but it weakens the king's position. And you need to see this move. You need to understand that actually white is doing great here. It was not very, very clear to me that I am the one pushing here for advantage. I did not consider g4. I did not know what to do in case my opponent plays h5 and g5. Yeah, why not just meet it with g4? And I decided to agree on a draw and was very, very disappointed somehow. Yeah, sometimes I don't know why. I mean, I lose a game, I'm not that disappointed, but after this game I was very disappointed. Some of my decisions that I was thinking for such a long time, and then I was taking the wrong decisions. So, and that's probably why in the next game against Leah Garifulina, I played very badly, very, very badly. So she is a e4 player, and she did surprise me with the d4. So I decided not to repeat the Slav. I decided to play the knight f6 e65. We played the Catalan. No, it wasn't the rest day. The rest day was only after the 6th round. It's going to be on YouTube, yes. And here, well, I decided to play some classical setup, but for some reason, after b3, I didn't continue with this classical plan of c6, b6, bishop a6, rook c8, you know, developing the queen side and preparing c5 and basically fighting for equality. I decided to be creative. And when this desire comes to my mind, oh well, that's not always good. f5, well, okay, it's a dubious decision. I think knight takes s3, queen takes s3, and then b6. I needed to play. It's not clear why I played knight f6 and knight e4 and spent wasted time by moving my knight. But after f5, well, okay, f5. I played f5, rook a to d1. Of course, I could not get back to the plan of playing on the queen side. I already said a, so I had to do something on the queen side. But unfortunately, for some reason, I didn't like that if I would play like queen e8, then she can capture, move away the knight, prepare f3, and somehow I said to myself that my position is not that good, but okay, it's okay. It's much better than after capturing and playing b5. A terrible, terrible, terrible play. I don't know why. I mean, I've been playing chess for so many years, and I sometimes do these unforced errors that I just wish I would not do. And that's not only bad positionally, but that's also pretty bad tactically, because here, well, I have to give up material. Either I have to play queen b6 and play this position with the queen for 2 rooks, which doesn't look great, right? But maybe it was lesser evil. But I was hoping, you know, I was hoping that I would get some initiative after sacrificing a few pawns. And I did get some initiative, but she played well. But she did make a mistake, and in my time trouble, I didn't find a way to save the game. Look, I will show you. So f4, and she played knight e5, which is a very serious mistake, because I can make a draw here by capturing, And that's the move of course I considered. And then she has to capture, because if she plays king g1 and I play queen h4, and actually I am already almost winning the game, because queen d4, bishop takes e5 is a threat. If she plays knight f3, well, there's going to be a rook takes f3. And well, I didn't capture on f2 because I didn't see what's gonna happen after king takes g3. But in fact here I have this beautiful queen f6 with a threat not only to play queen f2 check, but also to play queen g6. And it's a draw. But okay, when you're calculating this line, and even if you see queen f6, you need to see what was going to happen after bishop f3. And after bishop f3, there is a beautiful bishop takes e2. A very beautiful move. And yeah, if rook takes e2, I have queen takes f3. And if bishop takes e2, I make a draw by sacrificing a few more pieces, right? A few more pieces. Yeah, it's just a draw. A lot of fireworks, but it's just a draw. And of course, one needs to be sure that that's actually a perpetual. But thanks to my pawn on d5, it stops the king. And yeah, I could have saved it, but you see that it was very far from obvious. Knight takes f2. Could have made a draw. But unfortunately, I didn't see already queen f6. And I spoiled it. I captured on g3, but then just the position. Yeah, the position is very bad. And I had some chances. Again, it would have been better to capture first, to play queen g5, not to include bishop b5, queen b3, not to help her queen to be active, and some theoretical chances to save. After bishop b5, queen b3, it's basically almost over. And she played very well. And well, there was nothing to do after that. So knight takes f2 was my last chance in this game. So I lost my first game here. I went on -1. And then I played against Vantika. Yes, unfortunately, I did spoil some chances here as well. So let me see just the critical moments. It was the Rosalima. I played actually Rosalima twice in this event. And I did manage to get a very good position, so I played well here. She played f5, which is a dubious decision. And here I had a very pleasant choice. I spent a long time, again, 20 minutes, and didn't play well. So knight c4, like with the same ideas that I made in the game. Like trying to force her to play e4, and then like c3 and queen c2 attacking the center would have been an option if I wanted to do this. It was also possible just to go, you know, straight all in and either attack on b3 and capture here, or take on e5. And well, and then if she takes, it wouldn't be that good. I thought that her idea should be connected with bishop e8, bishop h5, and f4, f3. And I thought that it will give her some counterattack. That's why I didn't want to let her do this. Well, I played c3. Well, unfortunately, after c3, she doesn't have to play e4. In the game, she had already a great position. She had to play bishop h5. She played e4, which is a terrible move. And here I have an advantage again, but here I failed. Again, I failed to spot the correct continuation, the winning continuation. And I saw it, but, you know, not quite, not till the end. I saw the winning move. I liked it in a way, but, I mean, I didn't see how I win. So knight takes e5, I liked a lot, but I was calculating, and I didn't see that here after knight to f3, I have queen takes f3. And here the endgame is almost winning. And since I didn't see queen takes f3, I was calculating g takes f3, queen takes e5, but that was not that clear. And another very strong move was knight to e5 here. But yeah, I didn't dare to play it, because I thought that she would get some compensation thanks to the open file, and somehow the moves that I made, I liked it so much, but I just didn't see my opponent's reply. I played b4 here, quite fast I played b4. And unfortunately there is the one move that holds a position, and she made it, queen f7. Here already I spent all the time that I had left. And I captured on c5, I captured here. Yeah, and here was one more chance that the computer suggests, but I didn't consider it. Because it says that I could have just, you know, played rook c1. But actually I forgot that if she plays queen d5, I can play knight a4. I didn't consider this move. I was so scared. I was so happy and that the knight left this a4 square that I didn't consider the move back. And that was the only way to fight for the advantage. When I played f5, well, it's equal. After that it's equal. We made a few more moves and agreed on a draw. Yes, unfortunately I wasn't able to win this one. And then I think then was the game that was very... There were two other games that I lost, and both of them were so disappointing. The game was Daisy Corey. Terrible. Okay, let's see. So first of all, I let her play b4, and she has a great position, but she has to play knight d2, knight d3, and get an advantage. She plays knight e5. The position is about equal, but I'm the one who's pushing a little bit. Of course, I didn't want to repeat moves, so I played for a win, and she started to make mistakes in her time trouble. She plays knight d2, rook a2, f4, and here I spent all my time, almost. I see the winning continuation, and I don't make it. I don't make the move. Bishop a5 was the move to continue, because here white has the only move, which is knight b1. If she plays knight f3, then bishop c3 wins the game, and then my pawn just promotes. So knight b1 is kind of forced. Then I play c6, rook b3, and here I have a choice. I can make, basically, I can capture on f4. I opt for the lines that I did in the game, but just with the knight on b1. A completely hopeless position for black, or for white. Or yeah, I can, the king, the computer suggests knight c5, which I also considered, but after king f7, I didn't see how I'm winning. In fact, king h7 is winning, but okay, it's more complicated. But anyway, I captured on e4 after, I don't know, 20 minutes of thought, and then played c6, c5, and here bishop 7, and somehow I missed knight h4 and lost completely, I lost concentration, and I had to offer a draw, I think, here. The position is about equal, but of course I was still playing for a win. Too hard. Here I had to play g5. It would have been easier to create some counterplay and not to let the king go. If she goes, then I have already a far advanced pawn, or at least something. King f8 is made with the idea to play g6, and for some reason I don't play g6, and I just blunder this pawn. I blunder this pawn, but luckily I play king g8, she plays king f5 pretty fast, and here I can make a draw by playing bishop c3, and basically it's the only move to make. But I don't see that after capturing c3 and king g6, there is nothing serious actually that's threatening. I just can play rook a8 and that's it. And I didn't see this idea of playing rook a8. Because, okay, that looks scary. The king is in the corner, but in fact, okay, my pawn is also pretty scary. So the best that white can get is just give a perpetual, and that's it. That's a draw. Instead, I make a terrible rook a6 move, and I lose the game. Yeah, that was a very disappointing game. Yeah, because I had such a great position, a huge time advantage, and she was in time trouble. She made this serious mistake at 4, and instead of playing bishop a5 or even e4, the moves that I liked, I just, you know, collapsed. So after this loss, of course, it was very hard, like psychologically. -2 with no wins, and it was just games that they're not winning. I mean, I was not able to win. Then I was playing against Olivia Kalbasa. I decided to surprise her with c4. It paid out pretty well. She got scared to go to the main line here by capturing on e5. She made a bad move d6. Okay, here bishop f4 was a good alternative. I captured instead, which is also fine. A very nice position with a big opening advantage. But then here started things. I mean, instead of playing b3 and bishop b2 and just, you know, developing, and I played queen c2, she played knight f5, and I started to get worried. I played queen a4, which is a bad move. She played bishop d7, which is also not a very good move. Okay, again, time to play for advantage, and here I make a complete bad choice. Okay, of course I was considering b3, but for some reason I didn't know what to do if she plays knight d4. I didn't see rook takes d4. Silly me. That was a very easy line to spot, but I didn't see it. So I was calculating bishop b2, bishop g4, rook d4, capture, and well, I thought that I have a good compensation, but I was not sure how good is that, so I decided to make something else, to make another move, which is a 4, which is a terrible move, and it puts me in a very bad, it weakens my king, and I am the one who is fighting for equality here. And I started to blunder. Instead of playing rook 8 to c1 first and then knight d6, I played knight d6, but that's a bad decision. Rook 8 c1 is a blunder, and here I was going to take on c6, only realizing that rook takes g2 wins the game. Okay, and luckily my opponent decided to push her pawn and gave me some counter chances with my pawn as well. And I managed to make a draw in a quite cute way, but okay, sacrificing the bishop and then getting to g4 and getting the opposite colored bishop endgame. My opponent offered to draw because there is no way for her to, I mean, improve either than play h5 and g4, but then I'm gonna sacrifice my bishop and it's gonna be a draw. A very shaky game, but okay, after the loss to Corey, after the defeat to Corey, that was already hard to continue the tournament. I tried my best, but it didn't always work. Okay, then I played against a young player from Ireland. Quite a shaky game from my side. I did get a nice position out of the opening, and yeah, here instead of yeah, I was very unhappy that I played knight b5 because I kind of gave her some time to finish development, but anyway, she played a6, which is great. Yes, here instead of playing knight c4, I was scared of d5, and I didn't see bishop takes d5. For some reason I didn't consider this move. That's a very important move to consider. Knight e3, and she has trouble. She doesn't have time to finish development, and I have a great position. But again, since I didn't consider bishop takes d5, I was afraid of d5, and I played c4, and after knight d4 the position is almost equal. That was such a terrible decision, c4. And the game is almost equal. Just in time trouble, my opponent decided to wait any time. She could have played d3 and it would equalize the game at any point. d3 here, d3 here, d3 here, just makes a draw, basically. d3 instead of h5, that's d3. That's the last chance, I think, here to make this move. Here it's still possible to play d3, but not that easy. And here I'm winning, but I managed to spoil it again. I managed to spoil it again. Instead of playing rook 8, rook 8, rook 8, and here bishop takes b6 for some reason. I couldn't find the winning continuation, but I only considered queen c8, and it was not that clear for me. But in fact, queen c6, double attack, rook a7, and rook e8. That's the moves that I missed. And you see, because of this pawn on d4, only because of it, I basically win the game. So that's why it was so crucial to play d3, to open up those diagonals. This pawn doesn't matter here, this extra pawn, because of this opposite colored bishops. And yeah, what to do? What to do? I didn't see a queen c6, rook e8. I played rook e7, but that's a huge mistake, because here black can save the game. Black can save the game here by playing queen f6. Oh, almost saved the game. Well, I believe there are some chances still, but if I play b7, there is this d3 and bishop b6. Not good. Not good. Luckily for me, my opponent didn't spot it. She played bishop b6, and after that I won quite convincingly. The first victory in the tournament. Yeah, hard, what to say. And then, let's see, the last games. Then I lost once more. I lost once more, also a terrible, terrible, terrible loss. Because, well, we played this anti-martial. My opponent often plays it. She played basically the same line in this tournament. Okay, she played knight e2, knight d4 is another option. She gave up her light squared bishop, and the position is about equal. I did have an idea to transfer my bishop to the long diagonal. That was pretty strong, but okay, I played rook c8. I decided not to be very creative, and d5 was not necessary. Anyway, the position is slightly better for me. Queen e2, I didn't like her idea. I thought queen should be kept on b1. After queen e2, I could have played queen g6, but okay. Anyway, here, I had to, I think a4 would have been stronger, or b takes a2, queen takes a2, and a4, because despite the fact that 3 of her pieces attack the d5 pawn, she cannot take with neither of them. If she takes with the rook, then there is knight e6, a very strong move. Or maybe even bishop c6. No, can't I play bishop c6? Yeah, I think bishop c6 is easier from a human point of view. If she captures with the queen, again bishop c6, bishop takes f3. If she captures with a knight, then there's going to be a very, very nasty pin. And yeah, completely winning position. So that would have been a very strong move to play. Yeah, a4. I should have played a4. I played bishop a4. It's well, unfortunately, it's not enough to play for advantage. And I was still pressing. If I wanted to make a draw, if I would want to make a draw, I would just capture here. But I was the one, you know, pressing, because I believed that I have good compensation for the pawn. And here I blundered. I just gave up a pawn. I forgot that she can take, and rook d8, rook c3 play. Instead, I should have played queen d4, I think. The position is about equal. Here I blundered, and queen a5 was a very precise move to save the game, but I started playing badly. She also didn't play very well. She just waited, basically. She could have won the game by playing g4 here, but okay, it's quite a difficult move to spot. But instead she blundered here, rook a1, and here's the position. Rook b4 somehow. Okay, queen f6 is a mistake, and many mistakes here by both sides. And after her terrible knight h2 move, that's already, well, a drawish game. Yeah, I had just to take, and then either play g6, bishop g7, or bishop e7, bishop f6. She's gonna get, she might get 3 versus 2 on one side, but of course it's a draw. And for some reason I decided to keep the queens alive. But unfortunately, I'm not the one who's playing for a win here. My king is weaker. And I just forgot that she can actually play for checkmate. And that's what happened, yeah. A terrible game. Another terrible defeat. In a very good position. Just spoiled another good game. And 2 games at the end, well, you know, being on -3, I didn't really want to play. But I found strength to try a new opening. I played the Taimanov. It was a very complicated game. I decided to sacrifice a pawn, which I didn't have to. It would have been better to avoid sacrificing on e6, but okay. I decided to give it a try. I have a good position, but my opponent played pretty well. There was a very nice trap. For example, if she plays knight a4, I can checkmate her, but unfortunately my opponent saw that, and well, she decided to sacrifice the exchange. It's okay, but she didn't have to. She could have protected the pawn, rook c1. Here the position is about equal. I made a big mistake here. Well, maybe not very big, but rook e8 was a scary one to spot this mistake, to realize that I made a mistake in the game. Rook b8 would have been more precise, because here, after knight d6, I cannot capture on e5. I cannot go back, because she captures on d5 and just wins the game. So I had to find rook e7 and then try to save the position, which is terrible, of course, because after rook b8 I think I'm the one who's pressing. Maybe not that much, but at least a little bit. So she has this very annoying plan of e6, e7, e8, so I have to take care of it, maybe by playing king g7. But after rook e8 she could have been the one playing for a win. Luckily for me, she played bishop e2, which is the blunder, like the final blunder, and here I had to just finish the game, you know, any move. I could have played something like this, rook a3, stopping the pawn, and then just, you know, bringing the king towards either my pawn or, well, yeah, to e5. I think that would be great, and winning on a5, and then basically -5, what can you say? Just a completely winning position. Instead, I decide to play it safe. And I exchange everything, forgetting that actually 2 versus 2 here, well, because of the fact that I cannot, you know, my pieces are not here just yet, I cannot play h5, g4 and king f4. It's a draw. A theoretical draw, apparently. And king g7 would have been better, but she just keeps her bishop on f3, and there is no way I can play h5. And yeah, and here it's a completely drawn position. A completely drawn position. She just waits. Well, I moved my pieces around, and I tried the last trick. I played h3, which is still a draw. The easiest way is just to capture. Without the pawn on h3, I mean, I could have some chances because of this wrong corner, but here she just, you know, even bishop b5 apparently is okay, because, well, because she's not in Zugzwang. She can distract my king and then play king f2. That was the easiest way to make a draw. She played g3, which is still fine. I play king g4, and here she resigns. Well, that was a very nice gift. Highly appreciated, but of course after bishop b5 it's a dead draw. There is no way, unfortunately for me, that I can improve. I cannot get to the second rank because she always has this check, and the pawn on h3 just falls. Yeah, terrible, 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 terrible. And the last game, well, the last game was an okay, it was fine. I think I played okay. So the Rosalima, I decided to capture on c6 here and use the plan that Peter Svidler used in his games. I saw him using this plan. So first he develops, he makes this weird move, queen e1, and then suddenly he transfers the queen back and plays on the queen side. Yes, of course, I was very surprised. I didn't expect her to resign. So in this game, yeah, I played queen b1, I played b4, and then I played d4. And, well, I got a very nice position, which is easy to play, some advantage. Of course, the engine doesn't give a lot of advantage, it exchanges the bishops and holds the position. But for a human being, it's not that obvious with the knight on g7 how to hold it. So she decided to keep this bishop on the board, and that was her mistake. Yeah, because, well, it's more difficult to play here with this bishops being on the board. But I was not very happy about my bishop e5 move, though. I thought that I had to play bishop c3 with the idea to play knight e5, threatening to play knight c6 with a family fork. Instead, well, I played bishop e5. And okay, well, there were some complications, but I played fine. And her last mistake was g4. g4 was a terrible decision. I mean, she has to try to keep the tension and to open up the position. I don't know any move, but g4 just closes the game, and it's very easy for me to win it afterwards. So easy to find tactics, and yeah, that's it. That's the last game. Very hard tournament. Yeah, Vaishali won wonderfully. I already praised her performance, and I just scored 50%, 30th place, very far away. Yeah, very -24 rating points, and tough. But okay, more tournaments are yet to come. Women's Speed Chess Championship. Let's see how it ended. Who qualified for top 8? Daisy